Buckle up, folks. The idiots up here. All right. So I'm standing on one of those little swimming platforms. It's a little box on the end of a huge swimming pool. Now, to my right is Piper, and she's a blonde. Her hair's like in one of those little ponytails that she doesn't have to look in a mirror to make. It's just like, I'm adorable, I have a ponytail. And she's wearing a red Speedo, one of those shiny bathing suits. She has no cellulite. She has like great calves. She's gorgeous, okay. And on my left is a girl named Cricket, okay? And she's little, like, she looks like she only eats crickets. I mean, she's one of these little things, and me in the middle. And I'm wearing my black tankini. I'm not fooling anyone with this thing. It's like, it's like you're supposed to be in a bikini, but you don't look good enough, so you wear the two pieces. And I have the cottage cheese tuckless in the back. I'm a mess, and I have no business being at the end of the pool, but I'm getting ready to compete in a mother-daughter swim meet at the Scarsdale Golf Club. And I don't know how or why I got to this point, but I am there, and it is too late. I grew up super poor in Queens, in New York, and but ignorance was bliss. I didn't know we were poor, but I kind of figured it out when I got older because I assumed everyone lived in one of those ground floor apartments where you only see ankles walking by. I mean, I just thought that was sort of typical. But I knew at a certain point that I wanted so much more. I wanted to be literally upward mobile, like at least to the second story somewhere. So when I got out of school, I worked really hard to have a job where I could like be independent and have a great life. And even though I wanted to be an actress and a dancer, at some point I realized I would be broke, and I just didn't want to have the life my parents had. They did their best, but I somehow knew it wasn't for me. I just wanted more. So I became a talent agent, and I worked super hard, and I was really good at it. I liked it. And I started to make money. And then when I was getting upwardly mobile back in the 80s, I thought, well, now I've got to meet a great guy, and we can upwardly mobilize together somewhere. So that's when I met this adorable guy named Brendan, who was the opposite of anything I'd ever knew. He was not Jewish. He came from a really fine family. They were originally from Locust Valley on Long Island, but then they lived in Scarsdale. And he looked like, if you guys are old enough, do you remember the mystery date game where there was a guy in the middle that you wanted, with the khakis? He looked like that. Or like, he looked a little bit like the professor in Gilligan's Island. Like, really cute but smart, like nerdy cute. And I mean, he was like, he wore in the olden days, we used to wear, the guys would wear these Ralph Lauren polo shirts, but he wouldn't wear just one, he'd wear 3 at the same time. And the collars would all be up. It was like a preppy thing. I mean, I was in love with this guy. This was amazing. Okay, so we both fell in love. I don't know, he liked me. I was in like spandex onesies. I was loud, but for some reason, he liked it, I guess. He thought I was like somebody you meet at a topless bar or something. I don't know. But somehow it worked out, and we got married, which was kind of crazy, but we did. And we bought an apartment in the city because we were both working. But within like a year or two, because I'm so aggressive about everything, I got pregnant with twins. I figured there are no like twins in the family, but yeah, sure, I'm gonna have twins. I'm really pushy about stuff like that. So, okay, so now we have twins, and we live in this city on the Upper West Side, this tiny little apartment, and it's ridiculous. It's like you can't get anything done. I would go grocery shopping at the Food Emporium, and I would stuff the two of them in a double stroller, but I would also use that as my shopping cart. So I would like go through a store, and I would just stuff it with like elbow macaroni and diapers and detergent, and all you'd see are their sweaty little faces sitting around all the food. So at some point we thought, okay, we got to move to a suburb. Let's pick a suburb. But he knew Long Island, which I didn't really want to move to. But then he also said, my family's from Scarsdale. And I thought, ooh, Scarsdale, that's where rich people live. That sounds really good. And my only other sort of inclination to be there was this diet doctor, Dr. Townhour, who was the Scarsdale diet doctor who got murdered by this woman, Jean Harris, who was a school like head mistress. And I thought, even the murderers are fancy. Like, this woman is a very fine woman who killed him. I thought, okay, that's a town for us. Let's go live in Scarsdale. I don't know everything. All right, and I don't fit into many places, but I knew I certainly was going to have a problem here. I didn't care. Okay, village idiot, let's go. Okay, so we find a house we can afford, and it's quite lovely, and we move in with our little kids. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anybody. I could have been dropped down in Kansas. It didn't matter. I didn't know what I was doing, so I would sit on the front stoop like a stoop kid in the city, and I would yell at people to come over and hang out with me. You know, like a really friendly Tourette syndrome person. I would say, hello, I love your dress. You know, most people scurried by because I found out later they mostly were like the nannies who worked in the other households because people who lived there didn't walk. They were all in their cars. Finally, I met a couple of people, but the good thing was I was a working mom full-time, so I had my train lady friends. So I figured, I don't need to make that many local friends, but then it would become apparent that you kind of need to do that when you have kids who go to school, because I would show up to sign up for the parent-teacher conferences. And there's these two classes of women, us, the working women who have ink stains on your face, and then there were the other women who had on tennis clothes, who were lollygagging around and getting all the best times. And I thought, okay, this system doesn't work. I need to be treated as fairly as these women who have nothing to do all day. I'm going to have to be friends with these women. And I'm such an idiot, I think they'll like me. I'll just be friendly like I am, like I do. Since I married someone like them, they didn't like me, but I figured I'll try. Okay, so then I thought, okay, I know. I'll buy my way in. I'll join a country club. Now, meanwhile, I pick a country club, Scarsdale Golf Club, that up until about 5 years before I joined, didn't let Jews even in there. So I thought, oh yeah, this is where I'm joining. I'm going to be the Jewiest Jew in the club. All right, they're going to get me. And the other thing I decided was, usually the way it worked at these clubs, and they do this all over the country, if you're married to a man, the man joins, you're just the wife, and then if you get divorced, or if even, God forbid, he dies, you lose your membership, which is not right? So I thought, screw it. I'll be the member, and they never did that before. They said, oh, no, you're married. It's your husband. I said, nope, I'm going to use it for entertainment. I'm in the entertainment business. This is all nonsense. I said, I'm going to join. And they said, well, we'll have to see about that. So there's a whole process to join these clubs. You have to have people write letters for you. It's like getting a job. And then they throw a cocktail party where they have to look at you to decide, does she fit in? There's a problem. Okay, so I come from the school of dress for the job you want, right? So I think, like, what would Martha Stewart wear? What would one of those girls wear, like pastels or friffles or ruffles? And so I put on something like that, and I go to this party, and these women are all stunning. And they're all wearing, like, Lily Pulitzer separates or whatever. And I look like Gollum in a sundress. And I'm just kind of standing there, trying to make friends. They're all kind of looking at me like, well, I guess we should have one Jew here. All right, maybe. So somehow, miraculously, I don't know why, I guess they needed to have their quota. They let us in. And we were rejoicing, so I thought, okay, now I'll make friends with these women with their good thighs and the nice arms that look like Michelle Obama. This is perfect. All right, so we joined. But now, here we are. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's the mother-daughter swim meet. And my daughters, God bless them, they were 8-year-old, they're twins, the 8-year-old twins, they sign us up. Now, I had told them that I do not know how to swim, but they didn't believe that. I had told them I had never swum because I don't know how to swim. I was the 8-year-old at camp who claimed she had her period the entire summer. Everybody knows one. It was me. I didn't know how to swim. All right. So, and where I grew up, we didn't have country clubs like that. We had beach clubs, like in Flamingo Kid. So what you do is you walk down the steps of the pool, you go like this, you get yourself wet to here, then you get back on the towel, you put on your Hawaiian Tropic, you pick up your Harold Robbins novel, and you're done. That's it. So who needs to swim? Okay, so now here I am. I'm on the box, and there's a lifeguard who's got a whistle, and I know what I have to do is get across the length of the pool, which at this point looks like the Dead Sea, okay? I mean, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get across this pool? Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Now, here's the thing. This is what bit me in the tuchus, because I told my kids, be whatever you want to be. You have to try. Don't ever say you can't do something. And here I am. I know I can't do this thing, this one thing. So I figured, okay, the kids are insisting. I got to do it. I'm up with the tankini. I'm ready to go. He blows the whistle, and I'm watching Cricket and Piper and all the other women. They're cutting through the water like butter. They're going. And I slide down the back of the pool. I get like, you get like that concrete scrape on your back. I'm in the water. It's like up to here. So I do the only thing I kind of know how to do, which is the doggy paddle, sort of treading water. I'm like creating a tsunami around everybody, which I'm grateful. It's sort of slowing them down, those winnows. They're like, but I know I got to get there. So I start moving. I'm not moving very far, and they're almost to the other side. So I grab onto those buoys that divide the lanes, and I straddle it. I got my leg up. I'm hanging on. And I think, how long can I wait here before I'm rescued? And I know that's not going to happen. So now I start seeing the little girls coming back the other way. And I'm still hanging on. Now, my two daughters, they're not the brightest at this point because they're yelling, "You can do it! We're going to win!" I'm like, right, whatever. Sure, if that's what you think. Okay, so what I do is I slide like as if I were rappelling across the pool on the buoys, and then once in a while I'll step in to pretend I'm really swimming. I'm really ridiculous. My girls are clapping and they're cheering, but I've figured it out not to look around. Don't look back, don't look around. Just take care of yourself. Look forward. Don't worry about anybody else. And I get to the end, and they think they can. Meanwhile, the kids are already having like Coca-Colas and hot dogs. They don't care. They get in and they swim back the other way. And I get out of the pool, and they're hugging me. They're saying, "Mom, you did it." And all I could think about was, yeah, I did. Because I stopped looking around. All right, it took me 20 minutes. But the truth is that I belong with these beautiful girls, with my family, that I belong wherever I am because I have to just sort of embrace who I am and not worry so much about everybody else. And that's when I kind of figured out I arrived. Thank you.